discuss trending issues, news as it affect the Nigerian state. My name is John Taylor. Of course, I've been taking you on this page for some times now, but today we just want to, all right, try and look at some issues happening in the southwest, where largely has been peaceful over the years, but as it turns out now, the region is experiencing security challenges due to invasion of armed herders in the forest of the southwestern Nigeria. Talking about the state of Ogun, Osun, Ekiti, Kwara. No, Kwara is largely not central. Ibadan, that is Oyo State, and Lagos. All right, Ondo, yes, Ondo is part of that state, as we call them, southwest region. All right, so I'm here. My name is John Tena. Please, if you are joining the channel for the first time, do well to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as we engage on meaningful discussion. Well, so majorly at all, the issue I just want to raise with you guys this morning is about the insecurity in the southwest. That prediction has it that if the armed herders attacks in the southwestern region of that, the southwest have more of a rainforest reserve, rainforest. So that armed herders have already migrated in their mass from the Sahelian region down to the north central. North central too is not just been enough. They've started migrating down southwest, okay? And there have been pockets of attack, several repeated attacks in the southwest regions and forest. And food analyst says that 40% of Nigeria's food production may be threatened by these attacks if care is not taken. And so that will call for concerns from all relevant stakeholders, especially the Nigerian government, to ensure that. And we are in the rainy season now, where farmers have started planting, and with such fears of attacks and violent attacks, repeated attacks, you could see that the farmers may be afraid to go to their farm, especially in the southwest, where we are talking about 40% of Nigeria's food production may be at risk, may be threatened if urgent steps are not taken to ensure that the violent attacks in the southwestern forest is not curtailed at this stage. So the headlines are there on the nation dailies, the national dailies, where you could just pick some of those dailies and check it out and see that, okay, not just in the south. And then, after 22 months later, the present administration has promised 22 months later that there will be food security. And somehow the Ministry of Agriculture, which has been saddled with the responsibility to ensure that, okay, no matter what, steps should be taken in the right direction to ensure that food security is assured for Nigeria. 22 months after the food security program that the present administration have promised is not yielding result. There's no result because we don't have enough food in the nation's reserve, where, okay, after, although of course there is no food reserve, we don't have food in the national food bank. So we may not say that the present administration is achieving the food security it promised the Nigerian people 22 months after. Okay, we may not say it has come, because if you check the national dailies today, it says 22 months after, food security program assured for Nigerians yet to be fulfilled. And I told you that because of the mass migration of armed herders in the southwestern region of the country, there has been a prediction that 40% of the nation's food production may be at risk, will be threatened, and then Nigeria 40%. You can imagine how many percent that we even be producing, because of the migration of armed herders, not just in the north central. Of course, north central have been dominated by farmers herders clashes over the years, but it seems that the migration is now going down south, where food security, where food production will be further threatened, will be at risk, as we, of course, and I told you that we are in the rainy season, farming season, where farmers are expected to visit their farms, where farmers are expected to, cultivate and then engage in farming activities. But armed herders clashes, armed herders attacks, and you can notice those ones in Plateau, you could notice those ones in Benue, and then now the armed herders are migrating down southwest. Southwest forests are dominated by armed herders, and you could see the statistics all over the national dailies, and you see that talking about how 40% of food production in Nigeria will be threatened or will be at risk if the Nigerian government did not address the issue of armed herders attacks in the nation's forest, in the southwestern region. Okay, north central, we have come to live with it. Of course, there have been, there's no day there won't be armed herders attacks on for Benue. So Benue, Plateau, Kogi, Kwara, and then some part of Niger, of course, then Nasarawa to just some parts, but Nasarawa has not been dominantly. Nasarawa have not witnessed much of the attacks, but it's just some pockets of attacks in witnessed in Nasarawa. Nasarawa is just maybe attacks on mineral exploration. Of course, you know that there is a lot of lithium in Nasarawa state, and you know lithium is used for battery production. One of the best batteries in the world is produced using lithium, and it is found in Nasarawa. So it's just Nasarawa is just interest of miners, illegal miners who have, will come and maybe sack some community where they will find lithium, and then there have been maybe community to community clashes like that due to lithium exploration. But it has not witnessed maybe an attack like we saw in Benue, consistently, regularly, continuously. There has been attack in Benue. So no, just want to and then maybe bring the government or bring the government's attention to this, because there have been a mass migration of armed herders into the southwestern region, and then analysts say that 40% of food production for Nigeria will be at risk, will be threatened if the attacks continue, if the farmers in the southwest cannot get access to their farm due to armed herders' presence in the southwestern region. Talking about southwestern region, talking about Ondo, talking about Oyo, talking about Osun State, Ekiti, and Lagos. Of course, these states constitute the southwest in the Nigeria, and they constitute the southwestern region of the country. And then, of course, and they are predominantly dominated by rainforest, where there's enough of rainfall, and then the soil texture there is very, very good for agricultural projects, especially Ekiti State, where I served as a youth corps member some years ago. So it's a call for concern. Please, if you are joining this channel for the first time, we just discuss trending issues as affecting the Nigerian state. My name is John Taylor. Please, you can do well to subscribe, like, and share, and then drop your comment in the comment section as we interact during this live stream. Okay, so I'll be talking about issues as it affects the Nigerian state, especially the migration of armed herders into southwestern region, where 40% of Nigeria's food production will be threatened. According to analyst prediction says that 40% of Nigerian food production will be threatened if the Nigerian government will not rise quickly. And we are in the rainy season, will not rise within this short period to address the persistent attack of armed herders on farmers in the southwest. We may lose about 40% of food production to these attacks. Now, North Central, we can't just talk North Central, because North Central have been there, the attacks have been there. Benue, which is a food basket of the nation, which happens to be the food basket of the nation, indigenous cannot access their farm, especially talking about Gwe West. There's of course, Gwe West as a local government who constitutes about let me say 25% of food production in Benue State. Gwe West is a local government in Benue State. Share borders with Makurdi as the state capital. Imagine, so you can see that within the river bank, the river Benue banks, the river Benue, and Gwe West share boundaries, part of boundaries with river Benue, where farmers, predominantly, and those the people, the inhabitants of Gwe West are predominantly farmers in Benue State. So, and there have been persistent attack that even the local government chairman could put restriction of movement from 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Yeah, I think there's been an initiative like that. But what can a common local government chairman do when the federal might of the country cannot address these trending issues and pockets of attacks threatening food production in Nigeria? And then there has been a prediction that analysts are calling on the federal government, saying 22 months after the several promises to achieve food security, we've not seen enough done to address the issue of food security. The Nigerian people do not have access to much food as expected, as promised by the government when they came into power, promising enough food for the Nigerian people. But I tell you that there's no much food for the Nigerian people to access. And even if you have the money, the food is not there. Even if you do have the money, you can't access the food. So it's basically for farmers to gain access to their farm. That is the only thing that could address such issues. It's not going to the bank or maybe importing food and then maybe trying to make food in surplus. No, it's just farmers getting access to their farms, and the issue of food security will be addressed. Okay, so but let me just deviate from that. And then I told you some days ago that even up till now, the JAMB registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, is still under pressure for him to resign because of the mass failure. But there has been a theory from others saying that the people who actually the crash of that system, the JAMB portal that threatened the examination conduct, is actually some people trying to sabotage the efforts of JAMB, because there has been a call by the federal government that WAEC and NECO too will go to CBT, computer-based testing system. And then some people who want to sabotage the effort of the government and ensure that there are still miracle centers the one behind the crash and then the distortion of the system. So that because if JAM get it perfect, then the prototype used by JAM could be deployed in WAEC and NECO. So this is opinion, personal, not my own opinion, but people's opinion. That people have brought out opinion saying that miracle centers, the people that, and then that they said miracle center has been an economy. It's like an economy of billion naira, where people pay for others to write exams for them in WAEC and this. So if JAM get it right, then the elimination of miracle center in both WAEC and JAM, there will be elimination of WAEC and JAM. So because that same prototype used by JAM will be replicated in WAEC and JAM, and then the enemies of the state won't want that. The enemies of education won't want that to succeed. So that is where the alleged distortion of that exercise come into play. All right, my name is John Taylor. Please, if you are watching this channel for the first time, do well to like, share, and drop your comment in the comment section as we engage each other on this discussion. All right, so please do well to like, share, and engage us on this discussion. Talking about how that 40% of food security will be threatened in the country due to armed herders migration in the south into the southwest region, and farmers not being able to gain access into their farms is one key thing that the federal government will need to look into and ensure that farmers could access their farms without fear of attack by armed herders. I told you that North Central, they've come to live with that reality, and people are going through a lot in the North Central region. All right, thank you this morning. All right, so that is how we could take. I could take you this morning. It's already 15 minutes. It's just a 15 minutes chat. All right. So let me know what you think in the comment section after going through the video, and then subscribe and like the channel. All right, my name is Jonathan. I'll be taking my leave now. Have to attend to duty. I'm on duty now. So it's just a 15-minute chat. That is how we continue. Please have a great day ahead. Bye for now.